As with all good things, sometimes it's better to wait a little bit. Welcome to the Drunk Linux User. I'm Len, I am the Drunk Linux User. And yesterday I reported about the new OBS Studio 28.0, and I installed it and I uninstalled it. I had little weird things going on where it wouldn't seem to save some of the settings for my scenes like I wanted them to. I also had some other issues as far as the audio. It was just things just weren't right. I went on some of the message boards. Other people are having lots of problems with this. When I tried to install it originally, I tried to use the software from the repository that I had put in there directly from OBS Studio, and I kept getting these Qt6 error messages. Tried to find some information on that, but I could not resolve it within about 20 minutes or so, and I figured this is just, maybe this isn't meant to be. So what I did was I went back to OBS Studio's website, and I went over to the Linux download page, okay, right there, and I clicked on the download FlatHub, which takes you over to this page. I installed it. It installed fine, no Qt6 issues whatsoever. But like I said, I'm having a little difficulty with that. But then, now you please understand, I'm using Ubuntu Unity. So when I went to the package manager, I couldn't find anything other than Snap apps that went below 28.0. Then I found out that I still have the Ubuntu software manager on there, and I was able to come back to 27.2.3 something or another at the end. That's what I'm on right now. It seems to be working. Good for that, right? So my suggestion is right now, unless you have the time to really mess around with it in Linux, I would probably hold off for the time being. Let them work on some of the bugs and some of the little issues that they've been having that are being reported by a lot of people. And let's see if maybe it'll reincarnate into, something nice and smooth. Now, all this being said, the features that they promised for Linux are there. The features seem to work. So I'm not going to say that you shouldn't absolutely upgrade, but I'm seeing a lot of reports from people who are doing streaming that they're having some issues. I don't stream, I record, but even recording, it couldn't keep what I wanted to have set up on the screen. I didn't want to have to sit there and play with OBS and make sure that everything was lined up exactly the way I wanted it. It kept changing the resolution of my camera. It was really weird. So hopefully, again, they'll be able to get this fixed and we'll be in good shape later on. If you are on another distribution, I believe that probably Arch will allow you to go back to a previous version. But I looked here on FlatHub. I even used the terminal to see if there were any other options besides 28.0, and there isn't. So if you're on a Debian-based system and you want to use the PPA, don't. Not right now. That's my suggestion anyway. Your system, your setup, and everything may be completely different than mine, but I'm just saying that if you don't have everything that they're looking for, the PPA isn't necessarily going to be your best friend. The Flatpak was fine. The new theme is okay. Yeah, it looks definitely more modern. And honestly, it probably would work out perfectly for me if I wanted to spend a little bit of time before they do any changes. So, one last thing I want to talk about is the fact that Ubuntu currently is using kernel 5.15. It is working okay with my NVIDIA card. Everything seems to be running just as smooth as it does on Pop OS, quite honestly. But there are a few little weird things that you do notice, like some flashing. You might notice on the top bars of some of my, like my panel or the top of a window while I'm recording. And I noticed that when I was on a previous version of a different distribution using the 5.15 kernel as well. I understand that Ubuntu is going to be upgrading the kernel in Ubuntu 22.10 coming out in October to the 5.19 kernel, which Pop! OS is currently using. And I noticed that all my little weirdness, like that, like the flickering and stuff of the top screen or panel, went away. I also stopped getting the little ACHI, I think that's what it is, error messages when I boot. So, I can wait another month or two. I actually did try installing kernels 5.18 and 5.19 last night. It was a disaster, so I'm back to 5.15, and I don't have a problem with it. It's working. So just a couple of little things I thought I'd pass along today. I'm not knocking Obs-Studio. I think the direction they're going in is going to be amazing. I really, really do look forward to what they're doing with the software. So let's go to our words of wisdom and say, don't drive drunk, don't drink and drive, don't go to Amazon, eBay, or use MS at shopping all buzzed up thinking you're going to buy the latest, greatest, and coolest stuff. Because you're probably not. In the meantime, bottoms up. Later, dudes.